Who was your favorite entertainer back during the war?
Well, I think during that time there was Bob Hope. There was, well, they're all so old now that I actually can't remember a lot of their names. But they were so good at taking troops over to entertain all the troops. So I can't, do you remember any of their names?
Glenn Miller.
Glenn Miller, yeah. He would take his band over and entertain. So there was, and at home, about the only thing that we had for entertainment was an occasional movie. And most of the families would get together and have, little get-togethers like picnics or little parties or something. And of course, all we would do was sit and talk about all the boys that was in the service that we knew. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, what did you do for fun during the war?
Well, there wasn't, you had to make your own fun. There wasn't a lot that we could do. So, in a neighborhood, the kids would all get together and have a lot of fun. And we'd all get together, and I can remember the people that lived across the street from us were musical, and they would get out on their front porch and play, and all the neighbors would get out and listen. So, but you had to make your own entertainment mostly. An occasional picture show, but that was it.
Okay, so what was it like when everybody heard that the war was over?
Oh my, you were really just so tickled, and everybody got together, and you could just hear all the shouting, and it was wonderful.
Okay. Here in a little bit we'll be seeing my grandma's news clippings that she has.
Oh my.
But before that, Grandma, do you got like any special memories about the war?
Well, I think one of my special memories is the fact that our neighbor across the street had 3 sons in the service at one time, and her husband. So, and the one son was in the hospital, and she had gotten word that another son was taken prisoner of war in Germany. And it was so hard to get any news from them. But I remember going to my mailbox. You know, we didn't have mail delivered at our home at that time. There was, like ours was down at the corner of 2 streets, and there was everybody that lived on that street, the mailbox was there. But I remember going down to the mailbox, and since my neighbor was so despondent all the time, I always picked up her mail and took it to her. And lo and behold, there was a letter from her son, Bill Rainbow, that he had been taken. Somehow the Russians helped him to escape from Germany, and he had walked miles and miles to get away. So, but that was the most happy occasion because we all just sat down and bawled when we knew that he was safe.
Okay. And now let's look at some for newspaper clippings.
Rainbow was the daughter or the son of my neighbor, and he is the one that was taken prisoner of war. But when I went to the mailbox and seen that he had been liberated, and I ran all the way back to his mother's house so she could hear the news. The mother and dad with 6 sons that were in the service at one time. Now, one of these had worked at Owens and was exempt, but because his brothers all went, he enlisted and went too. Book that the government issued to all members of the family, and we had to use it, and was limited to buying sugar and meat and I think gasoline and tires for the car. There was just quite a few things that were rationed that we had to be careful about. And you were all, it shows you were registered, and it gives your description so that no one could use your card. They had to use it. This is President Roosevelt with one of his speeches. At the time, you can see he's sitting. He could never stand. And this was another prisoner of war, and he was captured by the Reds. And then it tells about 2 Newark men that was rescued from the Nazis again. Bill Rainbow and Corporal Shaw, where the fighting is going on, and the people from Ohio were there. They all get together. He had his jaws, his whole face was frozen. This man, his face was frozen, and he got dismissed. He got to come home, but he brought the flag home to his little nephew. This is where a submarine was surfacing at Pearl Harbor by one of the men that used to work for my husband. But it was awful hard to read because they were really did shrink them.
Okay, thanks, Grandma, for sharing all your memories with us.
Well, honey, you're entirely welcome.
Okay. And I'll see you later.